that God will not destroy the earth again with a flood. When's the last time you saw a rainbow? I saw a rainbow the other day. Isn't it beautiful, a rainbow? And they gave God thanks. And there they built an altar. And there they worshipped the true God. So, question then. Could such a story be true? Now, some of you may be, I don't know, into evolution, or some people may think we came from monkeys. But it's interesting that some of the archaeology that's been taking place, they found a whole bunch of skeletons all mixed up. Here, I mean, it's like a little cartoon, but it says, but Smithers, why are there land animals and marine animals all mixed up together? Now, it's not the scope of these few days to go into the evolution and creation debate. That's going to be another program we can look into. But it's interesting that when they do archaeology, when they dig up, there's things that come up which throws out the evolution theory. Has anyone heard of Josephus? Flavius Josephus was a historian during the time of the Romans. Okay, during the time of the Emperor Tiberius, he was a historian. Flavius Josephus, first century Jewish historian, also wrote about the remains of the ark as follows. A district called Charon has excellent soil for the production of amomum in the greatest abundance. It also poses the remains of the ark, in which report has it that Noah was saved from the flood remains, which to this day are shown to those who are curious to see them. So at the time of Josephus, he's saying you could see Noah's ark. That's what Josephus is saying. Now we go to Turkey. Has anyone ever been to Turkey? This is Turkey. This is a picture of Mount Ararat. And many people for a long time believed that if Noah's Ark is to be found, it will be found on Mount Ararat. But what did the Bible actually tell us? Where did the Ark land? On the mountains. And here you can see snow caps. Majority of Ararat is covered in what's called glaciers. And so when people go look for Noah's Ark, they find it very difficult. It's a very dangerous place to go. And this is what Mount Ararat looks like. And in this part of the world, it's a very dangerous place. You can get kidnapped. You can get shot at this place. That's what Mount Ararat looks like. Imagine climbing that to look for Noah's Ark. Okay, the Bible tells us, as well, and history tells us that the ark landed in a place called Urartu, which is where we get Ararat from. Okay, this is Turkey. This is Dubaizit. And here we find the area where a lot of people have been looking. Now, legends place the ark on the main mountain. Okay? But Mount Ararat is a post-flood volcano. Did you know that? So this mountain which people think Noah's Ark should be on is actually a post-flood volcano. That means that sometime after the flood there was a volcano which made this mountain as it is. So if there was a boat on this mountain, do you think it's going to last, a volcano? It's not, is it? Now this satellite photo shows how Mount Ararat intruded through an older mountain range. So this Mount Ararat is a modern mountain. So the ark cannot be on this mountain. And if it is on this mountain, it will be well destroyed. Has anyone ever seen a volcano on video or DVD or on TV? It's devastating, isn't it? In fact, when Mount Ararat blew, it blew a literal hole in the mountain. And see this hole here? That's where people think Noah's Ark is. A volcano destroys everything. This is what happens, with St. Helens. This is Ararat as well. Okay, now, do we have any legends about Noah's Ark? There's an epic here called the Epic of Gilgamesh. And here we find cuneiform tablets which describes a story of a flood. And there's also a book called the Epic of Gilgamesh. And in this book it describes that there was a flood and how they built a boat and these people were saved. There's a book called the Ark File by René Norbergen. And he documents all these facts and all these legends about the story of Noah's Ark. And this is the Chinese letter, okay, for ship. The Chinese letter for ship, right, consists of symbols for mouth and 8. And to some this suggests that the ark was a boat which contained 8 persons. So you see the mouth and you see 8. And what do I mean by mouth? A mouth like that with 8 people in it. The mouth representing a boat. So even Chinese, okay, the Chinese language tells us that there were 8 people on a boat to describe boat. According to the book, there's over 600 legends over this earth that describes the story of a worldwide flood and the story of Noah. But each country, each legend has a different name and a different description. And here we see, I know you can't read it, but if you get the DVD, you can go through it. But here you've got a summary of some of the literature accounts, starting from 1850, going all the way through it, of how there are records and descriptions and legends about the ark. Around 800 BC, there were stories of King Ashurnasirpal II. They used to do little tourist trips. 800 BC, they used to do tourist trips to Noah's Ark. And they used to go down and take bits of Noah's Ark and make little amulets. This is all documented. And here there's someone called Berosus, who was another historian, and he even had a picture that was given to him what Noah's Ark looked like. So Ararat Plain floods tradition. So we see ark petrified wood piece. People describe that they found wood pieces there. There's a monastery claiming they have bits of Noah's Ark. People claim they found Noah's wife's tomb. So there's a number of stories. Here you've got a town meaning the 8 in Iran. You've got this town here which means the raven won't land. You've got here Noah's foot. So you've got all different descriptions here which talk about this plane, this flood, this landing of the boat. Literary accounts of Ark landing. Historians are not eyewitnesses to what they wrote about Noah's Ark landing site. Historians copy other historians and accounts, second-hand, third-hand, and many generations later accounts, and historians tried to correlate other writings as well. So historians had many Ark landing sites. They're not consistent locations over the millennia. Some say it's Urartu, Ararat, Nisir, Quadu, Armenia, and various places. So what these historians do, they have this information, but what they're saying is, can we really rely on the historians? That's something that each and one of us have to make a decision. Can we rely on their accounts? Now, according to René Norberg, a number of expeditions have explored Ararat. A Russian expedition in 1915 and 16 claims to have evidence of the Ark. Sadly, all the evidence was lost during the 1917 revolution. So it seems every time there's a story that they found Noah's Ark, all of a sudden all the information is missing. Okay, or they couldn't get the videotapes, or they couldn't get this information. It's just mysterious. All these sightings cannot be proved. And here's a picture of, these are supposed to be Russian troops, and this is what they're supposed to have seen on Mount Ararat, a post-flood volcano mountain. And then by the time they got back to the Tsar, there was a revolution, he got killed, and all the information got lost. But they're claiming that this boat is fully intact. And what does this look like? It looks like a barge, doesn't it? And here we see the mountains of Ararat here. Now, he also wrote a book called Noah's Ark Found, and numerous sightings and claims have been made over the years. So we're going to explore some of these sightings. Now, the main areas for Noah's Ark where people have claimed they found Noah's Ark is Urartu, which is the mountains of Ararat. Mount Ararat itself, alleged sightings. There's a place called Durupina, which is the most researched place. Some people think it's in Iran, alleged sighting and petrified wood. And some place it in Mount Kudi, but there is more than one Mount Kudi or Mount Judi. In the Quran states very clearly that Noah's Ark